Hi, everybody. Welcome to Canadian Shields. I'm your host, Pierre Shields. Today, we're going to take a look at one of my favorite YouTubers. We're going to be looking at what Belle of the Ranch thinks about Canada's bridge, hockey, and the milk rant from the president. Let's go take a look at this. She's always got great things to say.
People, it's Belle again.
Howdy, Belle.
So today, we're going to talk about Trump's Canada, bridge, hockey, and milk rant. Trump, for some inexplicable reason, is saying he's going to stop the Gordie Howe International Bridge. This bridge has been in the works for decades, and previous administrations, including his, worked to make it happen. The Canadians are building the bridge over the Detroit River to connect our city of Detroit to their Windsor. He unleashed on social media with an incredibly bizarre rant that, sadly, I'm going to have to read all of.
I'm sorry, Belle. I'll move you forward. That's not the best.
I'll break.
There we go. From what I've gathered from this story so far, Trump has a good friend who owns the Ambassador Bridge, which is the other bridge over from Windsor to Detroit. And this billionaire has the bridge that he owns and is making a fortune with Canadians and Americans crossing it daily. A fortune, absolute fortune. So now that the other bridge is coming into play, I guess he assumes he'll be making less money. So I have a feeling this is, again, follow the money. It's just a money grab thing. It's a little bit insane. Though, it's really cool. It's building a second bridge means we're going to be doing more and more trade. Those bridges will both be full in no time. In no time. This is kind of one of those, make it up issues. Sorry, Belle.
Quote, as everyone knows, the country of Canada has treated the United States very unfairly for decades.
I'm going to back it up. I'm going to stop this often because every one of these words is going to get me enraged. I apologize.
States very unfairly for decades. Now things are turning around for the USA, and fast. But imagine, Canada is building a massive bridge between Ontario and Michigan. They own both the Canada and the United States side, and of course, built it with virtually no U.S. content. President Barack Hussein Obama stupidly gave them a waiver so they could get
in Barack Obama's name, that undertone of racism, where he wants to point out that he's a Muslim or just an evil person. It's terrible. He hasn't blamed Joe Biden yet, but that's going to come up. And what's funny here, this bridge has been in the planning for decades, and suddenly it's an issue 2 years into, or the second year into his mandate? Well, we know why. It's the Ambassador Bridge guy.
Them a waiver so they could get around the Buy American Act and not use any American products, including our steel. Now the Canadian government expects me, as President of the United States, to permit them to just take advantage of America. What does the United States of America get? Absolutely nothing. We get
The bridge was entirely paid for by Canada. How many billions was it? $6 billion, from what I can tell here. The bridge cost $6 billion. So besides $6 billion, what's it for America? This guy just spews propaganda. And I see that he's still like at 36% approval. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Something has to be done with the education system.
Absolutely nothing. We get a bridge, infrastructure, something we definitely need. Also, reminder, construction began in 2018 under Trump. Okay, moving back to Trump's post, he continued, quote, Ontario won't even put U.S. spirits, beverages, and other alcoholic products on their shelves. They are absolutely prohibited from doing so. And now, on top of everything else, Prime Minister Carney wants to make a deal with China.
Next up here, Ontario is retaliating against the tariffs put on their province. Good on them. So don't mix everything up. Ontario is still responding and retaliating against the tariffs that are still in place by America. So that stays on the table because that's in one bucket. The next thing she's going to bring up is Canada dealing with China. So we're getting crap for dealing with China, something that Trump's going to go do in a couple of months when he goes to, and sees and visits them. We had to sell our canola someplace because our Saskatchewan farmers were dying. And the U.S. just tariffed it out of existence. So we had to sell it someplace. So we went to China. So I find that the move by Mark Carney was really good, especially when you compare it to the move that Trump did for the soybean farmers trying to sell to China, where he sent 20 billion or 40 billion to Argentina. I sound like Trump, 20, 40, 60, 100 billion to Argentina just to have them sell their soybeans to China, pulling the carpet out from underneath. Insane. So, and also doing trade or trading with China doesn't mean we're in bed with China. It means we're trading. It doesn't mean we're going to be letting down our security. It doesn't mean we're going to be trusting them more. It just means we're trading with China. Something that I hear from, I think it was from Nasty Pete Hoekstra, was saying, we can't allow Canada to get these electric vehicles on a low tariff and flood the American market. Absolutely. That makes perfect sense. You don't want to do that. So let us buy the EVs and then tariff them at the border so that we can't sell you our EVs. Fantastic. So we get affordable Chinese cars and we don't have to buy the $120,000 F-150 anymore. I can't believe these people say that we're nasty. Unbelievable.
Mr. Carney wants to make a deal with China, which will eat Canada alive. We'll just get the leftovers. I don't think so. The first thing China will do is terminate all ice hockey being played in Canada and permanently eliminate the Stanley Cup. The tariffs Canada charges us for our dairy products have for many years been unacceptable, putting our farmers at great financial risk.
True. I'll give you an example from what I know in Quebec. The reason we have a tariff on our milk is that we don't want we don't want to have American producers sell all their milk over here and just swamp our market and kill all of our farms, because we want to keep them. They're strategic. It's part of our, it's part of our long-term independent strategy. What if there's a war someplace? What if something happens and the U.S. decides to cut us off from milk? Well, we want to keep that strategic reserve. That's why we're keeping our farmers afloat. And it's only, the 400% tariff that is imposed has never been reached. That's what the one that's shown all the time because it's very, very high. But it's an extreme measure on an extreme amount of milk, but it's never been reached. It's always been lower than that and reasonable. So Trump's really got to start rethinking his things. Same thing, tariff on lumber. My God, we have great wood, and the housing in the U.S. is getting more and more expensive. Competing tit for tat could be absolutely the way to do it. You have wood, we have wood, which, we're trading partners. This is crazy. Don't get me started on steel and aluminum and cars and okay. Sorry, Belle.
Risk. Yes, spirits are off the shelves because President Forgetful started a trade war with Canada. I honestly have no idea what he's talking about with China ending hockey. This isn't the first time he's said something like that. Reminder, Trump initially encouraged the Canada-China deal. The U.S. ag industry didn't just send a letter to Congress complaining about Canada's trade policies. They sent it complaining about Trump's. More on that later. I can only read this as Trump realizing he's losing his trade war. He ends with, quote, "I will not allow this bridge to open until the United States is fully compensated for everything we have given them. And also, importantly, Canada treats the United States with the fairness and respect that we deserve. We will start negotiations immediately. With all that we have given them, we should own perhaps at least 1/2 of this asset. The revenues generated because of the U.S. market will be astronomical. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Donald J. Trump. The only logical takeaway here is that Trump is losing his trade war, and he's feeling the pressure. Respect. That's funny. Remember the Governor Carney thing and the 51st state thing? Look, if Republicans in Congress keep letting Trump run the U.S. economy into the ground, we're going to end up the fourth territory. And if Grandpa rambled like this and had irrational fears like this, you'd make sure Grandma took his keys. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.
Took his keys. I love her. She's fantastic. Go see Belle at the Ranch. Go like and subscribe and comment and notify and all that stuff because she's really, really good. I absolutely love what she's doing, what she says. It's I like how she calls him Grandpa Forgetful. I mean, as you move, he expects people to forget, and it's worked for him. He lies and lies and lies and lies and expects people to forget what he said the previous day. And also, it's not so much people are forgetting. I think people aren't paying that much attention. And by people, I mean Americans aren't paying that much attention because they have their lives to, Canada's not part of the everyday thinking. Whereas in Canada, the U.S. is part of our everyday thinking because we're a big territory, but we're, not a big amount of people. This is heartbreaking for Canadians. This is absolutely heartbreaking for Canadians. If you like this video, I'm going to finish on a happy note. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, share, comment, and click on notifications. And if you want to support the channel, you can always buy me a coffee, or you can come see the merch store where I've put together some nice new posters of the Avro Arrow, of the DHC 515, and also the de Havilland Beaver. More coming too on the airplane front. I'm going to try to put a couple of series together specifically on the Canadian aircraft. Thanks so much for spending time with me. This is Pierre Shields for Canadian Shields. Go play outside.